In the spirit of this review, as well as the film itself, I am wearing the traditional Malay clothing, the Baju Melayu. And by the time you're watching this, it's Raya month, so Selamat Hari Raya. Puteri Gunung Ledang, or in English, Princess of Mount Ledang, is arguably one of the most popular and talked about legends in the hearts of Malaysian. It is said that the princess is a supernatural being called Orang Bunyan. She lives at the top of Mount Ledang. One of the aspects that people usually talk about is how beautiful this princess is, even though nobody has a single actual photograph of her. In 2014, Tiara Jacquelina alongside with Rahim Razali produced a film based on that legend called Puteri Gunung Ledang. Although the original idea came from Muhammad Khalid, now this dude has done everything. You might know him from Zombie Kampung Pisang. He co-wrote this screenplay alongside with the director. It is the most expensive film ever produced in Malaysia. It cost well over 4 million US dollars. That's like 10 to 15 million ringgit. And to us, Malaysians, that scale is huge, it's crazy. After 16 years of its theatrical release, the folks over at Infinity Media, people who work on the film, released a digitally remastered producer cut version of the film. I am beyond happy to hear this. So me and my team over at Project Lereng, we decided to get our hands on one of those special edition Blu-ray discs. And the disc finally arrived this morning. It is a limited edition. This is incredibly rare in Malaysia to have this kind of physical media. So I am beyond excited to unbox this and share the content with you guys. And I'll review the movie as well as the disc itself. To those who are not interested in unboxing this, you can skip right to the film review itself. So let's go. Alright, right off the bat, I love the color very much. Dark maroon, and it has the engraving over here, right here, if you can see the logo engraving. The title is here. Very, very nice front cover. On the side, we have the title, Puteri Gunung Ledang, as well as a Blu-ray disc. On the top, nothing. On the other side, it's the same. And at the back, we have the Infinity Vision Media. Alright, let's open this up. Wow. So, firstly, we have a limited edition photo book. Let's see. I think this is the opening shot of the film. As you can see, this is Hang Tuah with the princess. Some dialogues exchanged between those two. Very nice. This is the Sultan. A piece of trivia right here. The role of Sultan Mahmud and impressed Tiara Jacquelina and the director at the audition, such that he was offered the role almost immediately. I love the costume, look at that. It's just really, really good. It looks really good. She looks amazing. So I think this is somewhat a thank you letter by Tiara Jacquelina. So here is the list of categories that the film won. Best Screenplay, Best Actress, Asian Pacific Film Festival, Best Director, Film Festival, Malaysian Film Festival, Best Art Direction, Malaysian Film Festival, Best Producer, Best Musical Score, I agree with that one, Manchester, Palm Springs, Bangkok, Stockholm. This film has traveled worldwide. Very nice photo book indeed. Oh, we have an album. I did not expect this one from Tiara Jacquelina, Katakan. Never heard of this album, but I'll pop in sometime soon. Oh, what's this? This must be postcards, right? Yeah, these are postcards. Oh, these are stills from the film. So this is Tun Teja, played by Sophia Jane. Beautiful actress. This is the princess. Good looking shot of Hang Tuah. I believe he is about to fight with the king of Majapahit, if I'm not mistaken. Then we have the entourage. This is the king of Majapahit. This is Rahim Razali, K. Rahman, and the disc itself. So that's it. That's the unboxing of the limited edition box set Blu-ray disc of Puteri Gunung Ledang. Very nice things. We have some postcards, we have a album, and then we have a limited edition photo book. So I'm quite happy and satisfied with this. For its price, I'll be reviewing the film and disc itself. Puteri Gunung Ledang tells the story of forbidden love between the princess of Mount Ledang and Hang Tuah, the famous Malay Muslim warrior from Melaka. The princess, or her real name in this film, Gusti Puteri Retno Domila, is the younger sister of the king in the Majapahit kingdom. The princess flees secretly from her country and wished to stay at Mount Ledang in hopes to reunite with Hang Tuah. Soon after the princess parting, Majapahit is attacked by the Sultanate of Demak. Desperate to achieve peace between two kingdoms, the king of Majapahit offers his sister's hand in marriage to the prince of Demak. But her absence could not solve this matter. The king's only hope for security is to forge an alliance with the Malakan Sultanate by offering his sister's hand in marriage to the Sultan Mahmud of Melaka. So Hang Tuah has to choose between his love for the princess or his loyalty to the Sultan of Melaka. Puteri Gunung Ledang is a beautiful film, both visual and story. The film was obviously shot on film, which is something very rare to see in today's Malaysian films. Everything is digital now. So I love how it looks, especially with this digitally remastered version. The cinematography is fantastic. I love how certain scenes are being lit, especially any scenes that takes place in the Sultan Palace, the Istana Sultan. They capture the epic scale really well, and it is truly a film for the big screen. Now, the film is slow, but it is not boring slow. It is slow because of the very nature of the period piece. What I mean by that is the pacing of the film flows as if you're watching a theater. A traditional theater. In Malaysia, we have a traditional theater called Bangsawan. Now, in Bangsawan, the language is very poetic. They speak figuratively. So that affects how one scene flows to the next. People don't usually talk as fast as how we talk nowadays. There is a pause in between each sentences. Semua benda yang diorang buat penuh dengan tertib dan lemah lembut. Even lelaki pun, you can only get that kind of dialogue, that kind of language during those times or watching a piece of traditional theatre. The film is a plot-driven story. It centers around Hang Tuah and the princess, their forbidden love. The story is actually quite small if you really think about it, but it is presented in this large scale, this epic scale. There isn't too much happening in the film. Again, because of the nature of the period piece, one situation is stretched into 2 to 3 scenes, making it look as if the story is complex and complicated. For example, in today's setting, if you want to send a message to somebody, you can do it by just pushing a button. But before all this, you might have to climb up a freaking mountain to reach someone in particular. The story and film takes the most well-known aspects from the legend of Hang Tuah and Princess of Mount Ledang and turn it into a film. It is the things that we already kind of heard before, such as we know Hang Tuah is very loyal. We know Hang Tuah can fight really well. We know he has a magical keris with magical power called Taming Sari. There aren't much backstory to the characters. If you're watching this film not knowing anything about Hang Tuah or Princess of Mount Ledang, you might not be as invested in those characters. You might not be as excited. I'm not saying that you can't watch this if you haven't heard any of the legends. Of course you can, and you'll enjoy this. But you might not be as excited for people who already know the characters because the film doesn't explain that much about the characters. There isn't a made-up story of how Hang Tuah grew up, how he obtained the Taming Sari. Don't get me wrong, it was really cool to see Taming Sari and seeing Hang Tuah doing his silat and everything, but there isn't much exposition on that, on the character of Hang Tuah. So in short, the film doesn't really reinvent anything new in terms of story and character, except for the love between Hang Tuah and Princess of Mount Ledang. But I do like to mention that the film feels grounded. It does not feel like a cheesy fantasy epic genre film. And I think that's why I feel for the characters so much, even though I don't know them. I just love the writing in this film. I love how poetic and indah it sounds, because nobody talks like that anymore. There's a beauty behind each word, and each word has a weight on it. Bila orang kata bahasa Melayu itu indah, inilah dia, penuh dengan kias-kiasnya. And because of that, it is extremely romantic. The final scene of the movie really punched me in the stomach, my heart and my soul. This led me to realize that this film is not for everyone. Even as a Malaysian, I dare to say that because this film is extremely romantic and it is a period piece that offers a look at our culture and heritage, like traditional dance, costumes, and settings. If you can't appreciate all that, the aesthetics of all that, you might find this film very cheesy and somewhat a boring movie. If you're someone like me who appreciate romance movies, drama, fantasy, and you appreciate the traditional Malaysian aesthetics, you'll fall in love with this film, with all its beauty. As a general audience, you might watch this movie just to see how these well-known legends are being portrayed on the big screen. Just to see how the popular legends are being brought to the big screen, to the modern screen. Because there isn't anything like this for the past 20 years. Of course, there are movies that were inspired by legends during the black and white era, like Mahsuri and Hang Tuah during the P. Ramlee era. But as technology progressed and filmmaking techniques evolve, this is by far one of the best epic film in Malaysia today, and one of the most romantic stories that I've personally watched. The world building, especially Melaka, the Sultan Palace, Istana Sultan, magnificent. Sangat cantik. The production design really shine in this one. I think this is one of those times where the production designers, the costume designers in Malaysia can really shine and show their talent. To add to the overall epicness of the film, the score and music is iconic to say the least. It helps enhance the experience by 90%. Yeah. Great work by M.Nasir and Tan Yen Wei for composing and scoring this film. Speaking of M.Nasir, let's talk about some performances. Tiara Jacquelina is wonderful as the princess. She embodied that character so well, and this is a performance of a lifetime. She will forever be known as Puteri Gunung Ledang. She has a lot to do in this film. A couple of monologues and quite a few intriguing dialogue exchange between her and some characters, especially her with the Sultan, the Sultan of Melaka. I like how she moves and speaks. She does everything with grace. There are two scenes which is my favorite in the film. One is her confrontation with the Sultan, and the other is her reunion with Hang Tuah. That confrontation between her and the Sultan is just really intense. And in that scene, she delivers somewhat a monologue about choice, freedom, and love. Powerful stuff. I applaud the writer as well as the director for crafting such an amazing scene in the film. My eyes was just glued on the screen. And the other, her reunion with Hang Tuah is just the sweetest thing. Speaking of Tuah, I thought M.Nasir did alright. He certainly filled up the shoes of Hang Tuah very well. He captures the charming and physics of how I imagine Hang Tuah would be like. He didn't have much to do compared to Tiara Jacquelina, but enough to carry the name of Hang Tuah. As for the Sultan, Adlin Aman Ramlee, I love this dude in pretty much anything he's in. So naturally, I enjoyed his performance. But in this one, I kind of feel awed by the casting choice of the Sultan. Maybe that's what they were going for, to make you feel odd. Because I feel like he can deliver his lines more powerful, for the lack of a better word, because he is the Sultan. He is like the king. But I guess they are taking a different portrayal of a sultan in this film, which is fine. I'm not saying the performance or the casting is bad. I'm just saying, to me, I felt a little odd seeing him. Really nice to see some familiar faces in this one, like Rahim Razali, Sophia Jane, great actors, Sabri Yunus, K. Rahman, as well as other actors from Singapore and Indonesia. They all did really well. Besides the great quality, both audio and visual, from the remastered Blu-ray disc, the disc also features some deleted scenes and unused scenes from the film. One of them really stands out for me, and that is a scene between Hang Tuah and Tun Teja, the Sultan's wife. So according to legends, Tun Teja fell in love with Hang Tuah and ran away. So Hang Tuah had to bring her back to the Sultan by manipulating her in thinking that she is running away with him. Tuah then gave a piece of battle, sirih, that he has enchanted to make Tun Teja forgets about him. It's a great additional scene that adds a little more context to the characters. The disc also features the iconic song Asmaradana, the music video of that, and as well as a song from Siti Nurhaliza. I do, however, would like to say I'm kind of bummed that they didn't have a featurette, a documentary about how the film was made. I'm very happy with the quality of the film itself, but as far as a physical media goes, a box set of Blu-ray disc, I was hoping that they would give me a set of behind the scene footage or a well-made documentary about how the film was made. The reason why behind physical media is kind of popular and survived in Hollywood for so long before the streaming service, because they have all these additional behind the scene footage, a documentary of how the film was made. From pre-production to post-production, it is to appreciate and have a better understanding of the craftsmanship that went on behind the scene in making the film, getting a more appreciation and understanding where the ideas come from and how they work together to create this film. So I was hoping to see that in this disc. Making a film at this scale or a period piece is always very, very challenging and tough. I wouldn't say that I could do any better. I would like to acknowledge that before I go any further in talking about the things that I would like to see and the things that they could improve a little bit. Like I mentioned earlier, the film is a plot-driven story. From the beginning of the film, Hang Tuah is already at his prime, and Puteri Gunung Ledang, the princess, is already heading towards the Mount Ledang. I would love to see more backstory. How Puteri Gunung Ledang was raised, who were her parents. Same goes to Tuah. This is a legendary warrior, and there is so much potential for a character story. Where did he learn his skills for silat? How did he become a Laksamana? Of course, there isn't any real story behind who Hang Tuah is or who Puteri Gunung Ledang is, but you are making a fictional film. So you can build this character up however you envision. So again, they take the most well-known aspects of the legends and turn it into a film, which understandably so. Maybe they didn't have the extra budget to shoot all those scenes, or they only want to focus on a specific event in those characters' lifetime. I think that's why Mamat Khalid pitched this idea early on to be a TV series, a television series called Hikayat. Maybe he wanted to build a more detailed character, to which Tiara insisted him to turn this into a film. I think that's probably the right choice. This story deserves to be told on the big screen. The other thing is that how the action scene was shot, the fighting, the hand-to-hand combat, if you will. In traditional theatre of Bangsawan, the martial art of silat is one of the integral aspects in the theatre. The choreography of the silat is one of the wow factor of the show. In this film, we get to see Hang Tuah showing his silat. However, those scenes were shot in a close-up and a little bit shaky. I think it would benefit more if they shot it wider. Sebab silat ada seninya, dari pergerakan buka bunga ke pergerakan serang. We do get to see the action of silat and the movement of the silat quite clearly. But yeah, if the blocking and angle was shot as if you're watching a theatre, I think that would benefit much. But I don't mean to undermine the amazing choreography of silat and how good it looks in this film. Nonetheless, I am beyond happy that they digitally remastered this film and have an actual physical copy. Now, why does this matter so much, to me at least? Well, first, because films in Malaysia are lost. They're gone. I mean, it is so hard to get a hold on a good original quality of films that date back between 20 to 30 years ago. We don't have a good archive system. Each film that came out locally will die within a month after it's released. The studio doesn't seem to make an effort to archive all these films and have an extra budget to work on physical media. Maybe money is the issue, and we don't have a lot of film fans or filmophile living here in Malaysia to maybe care or support this kind of stuff. I'm not trying to say that I know everything, but I've seen a pattern here. Paling baik pun, filem tu akan naik ke Netflix ataupun iFlix. Tapi dia macam hilang. Lepas movie tu keluar kat wayang, dia mati. Now there's a lot of debate about piracy, cetak rompak dan sebagainya, but bottom line is having things like this makes my heart appreciate the local artists, filmmakers, and the film itself. It serves as a preservation for years to come and give a sense of relevance in today's society. Like I can't get a good copy of Yasmin Ahmad films like Sepet or Gubra. There isn't any physical media selling today or archive anywhere that I can find those important, good quality films. Yang ada pun semua yang gambar buruk-buruk, yang macam memang cetak rompak habis lah. Dekat Amerika tu, walaupun dekat Hollywood tu, walaupun orang cetak rompak pun, quality at least cantik tau. At least quality dia Full HD, Bluray HD. So kita tengok pun at least sedap lah juga kalau nak kata piracy pun. Dekat Malaysia, kita market filem tu, sebulan, 2 bulan, kita keluarkan trailer, kita market filem tu, keluar kat wayang, lepas habis wayang, mati. Filem tu mati, hilang, habis dah. Tak ada dah. Macam tak ada lepas tu, oh coming in DVD, oh coming in physical media. Tapi like I mentioned earlier lah, because mungkin tak ada orang yang support dan kita tak ramai orang yang jenis yang suka filem dan nak beli physical media. Satu lagi, filem-filem kita tak ada behind the scene footage. We don't have a documentary, a well-made documentary on how a film is made. We don't practice that in our film industry. Of course, there are some clips and actors interviews and directors interviews dekat on YouTube, but those are just scratching the surface. What I want to see is an in-depth view of how the film was made in terms of costume design, in terms of production design, in terms of sets, in terms of lighting, in terms of actors' perspective, in terms of writing perspective. All those things are important in giving a more professional look at the craftsmanship, the professionalism of making a film. So giving that look will make people appreciate and understand, oh, this is how film is made. This is the thought process. This is the creative process that went along in making this film. It's hard, it's tough, but by doing so, people will appreciate more. Another thing that I would like to mention is that films like this are history. It gives a look at our culture and heritage. It baffles me that there is only one film like this for the past 20 years, besides Hikayat Merung Mahawangsa. I mean, I understand that films like this are hard to make and it's quite costly. But the success of this film made me realize that it is possible. Films like this is possible. We have the resources, we have the material. We don't have a great action or advanced visual effects like Hollywood or any other international film industry. And we can't offer a great science fiction just like any other international film industry. But we can offer the richness of our culture and heritage. That is what Malaysia is known for, budaya and bahasa. Hell, if Muhammad Khalid announced tomorrow that he's gonna do a cinematic universe of all the legends and folklore of Malaysia, I'll be so down. Just imagine a universe where Puteri Gunung Ledang, Mahsuri, Putri Santubong all living in the same universe. What I'm saying is that we have this richness of legends, of culture and heritage. Why not use that to educate people or give life to the legends through cinematic expressions? I'm not saying that's all we should do, but having this film really inspired me to believe that we can achieve our own identity in the fantasy epic genre. That's why P. Ramlee did so well, because it has its own identity, our national identity. Puteri Gunung Ledang is truly a national treasure in the local film industry, taking the well-known legends and breathe life to those characters. It is a story about love, choice, and sacrifice. Betapa agungnya cinta. Thank you so much to Tiara Jacquelina, along with the folks over at Infinity Media, for digitally remastering this film. I hope more films will get digitally remastered like this, especially films from Yasmin Ahmad. Go ahead and get your copy of this limited edition box set Blu-ray disc of Puteri Gunung Ledang for only 139 ringgit. It is worth it, guys, trust me. I'm not sure by the time you're watching this ada lagi tak stock available for you to buy, but I will write down the instruction for you to order yours today down in the description below. In that note, I am going to give Puteri Gunung Ledang a 9 out of 10. Again, it is not for everybody, but boy, it was for me. Terima kasih. Thank you so much for watching this review. Till the next review, stay home, stay safe, Selamat Hari Raya, and remember, film is subjective.